Good day there. Welcome to another video. In the last class, we began looking at getting started tools and went to deal with some of the drawing tools that we have. Dealt with some of the drawing tools we have here, going from the eraser down to the circle tool or the polygon tool, rectangle, the rest of them all. All right, so we have a checklist that we're going with, and we are done with the first set of tools, and we're going to be going into the 3D manipulation tools. All right, so first on the list is the push-pull tool, then the offset, the move, the rotate, the scale, and the mirror. All right, so let's quickly deal with these three. These are a couple of tools, and all right, so one of the first things I'll do is to clean up my workspace and select everything, Control A, and hit the delete key. All right, so I want to have a clean space, so I got rid of everything. All right, so one of the first things you need to note is that your 3D or manipulation tools is for manipulation. What that means, you can't manipulate what doesn't exist. For something to be manipulated, it needs to exist. All right, you can't manipulate an image or whatsoever that does not. If there is no image, then there is no manipulation. All right, so what that means, the manipulation tools, they can only function on existing drawings. All right, existing drawings or items on or in your screen. So the idea behind push pull is, which is the first tool here, is that when I have a rectangle or I have or I have a rotated rectangle. I have a rotated rectangle. No, let's see, going along this axis. I have a circle. Oh no, that's not a circle. I have a circle, and let's say I make my circle have about 16 sides. 16 sides. Commit that. Then I draw my circle, and then I have a polygon that has about 7 sides, and I draw that. All right, so push-pull tool, what it does is in the 3D, in the generic 3D world, we call it the extrude tool. Well, push-pull works the same way as extruding. It is extruding, but what it does is it takes the face that you have and it duplicates the face, moves it up or down along the opposite plane, creating either height or depth. When it moves it up or down, with duplicating that plate, then it joins a line from the duplicate up down to the bottom where you started pushing or pulling from. All right, what that simply means is it turns into 3D. All right, that's explanation is for gigs. All right. All right, it turns into 3D. So what I do now, I click on the surface and click the ones and I pull, and you can see suddenly it looks like a cube. Now it's 3D. All right, that's why it's called the 3D or manipulation toolkit. All right, so push pull is one of the most useful kits tools in SketchUp. All right, so I can do that for this guy. I do that for this guy. You see, I can do that with this guy as well. You can see how quickly I convert those shapes to 3D. Like I said, it duplicates the shape on the bottom, takes it to the height you want, and then connects the lines together and make it a 3D shape. That's the literal explanation of what goes on. All right, so you can see how the push-pull tool works. Now, of course, push-pull tool can only work for faces, all right, not curved faces like this. These are linked curved faces, even though they are actually just polygons, all right, but they are linked curved faces, so you can't push-pull that. All right, you can't work on curved or smooth faces. But as this one that is not curved, you can see I can push this out, I can push this out, I can push. Okay, I can't push it because of the weird. I can push it out there because of the weird shit going on there, but I can push it in. All right, you can see the weird things that you can begin to do with push-pull tools. You can see how stuffs are going on there. So literally speaking, it takes the shape, push it backwards or forward, you know, backward or forward. So I can decide to push this out. I can decide to push this part out. You see, that's push-pull tool. All right, you might want to play it. It's a really interesting tool. You might want to play with it till you get a hang of it. All right. So moving on to the next tool is what we call the offset tool. All right. So what the offset tool does is, say I have a rectangle or a line. What the offset tool does is it takes whatever shape you give to it, and offsets it. All right. So offset tools, okay, it only works for, it doesn't work with a line. It works with at least two lines connected together. All right. So when I click, you can see it offsets it. It gives a distance from the original point to the next point, and it keeps it along the same axis. So we mean like offset this, I can give it like, so I click to and drag. So I can give it, let's say, a 1000 mm offset. And I can just use my line tool and connect this to this, connect this to this, and that's a shape. All right. So if I want to offset this, if I select the face, the offset tool is looking for edges, not faces. But when you have faces selected, what it does is it looks for the edges that creates the face and it offsets those edges. All right. So you can offset inward or outward. So when I click and drag this, it creates an inset. If I click and drag it out, it creates an offset. All right. Inset, offset, inset, offset. Practically the same thing, just it depends on the axis. All right. So if I do it outward, it creates a shape that way. If I do inward, it creates a shape this way. So if I pick up my push pull tool, I can just easily start pulling up this part, and I create another inset here. I push it in. See, like weird stuff's already happening here. See, I can start creating houses and stuff of that nature. When I do an offset here, you can see I get something around here. I say I draw a line from here to here, and line from here to here. I can push pull this part up to create a compound like shape. All right. So, but you begin to see how all these tools combine together to give you a very robust modeling tool. All right. So if I were to come back to this shape with my insert tool, I could just click and drag, and you see how it's inserting it in there. All right. So I could just, use a line tool and draw out there so that I can pick this part up, push it upward. Then I can pick this inner part, put it upward. All right. So you can quickly see how you can get weird shapes up and running, and you can see how accurate these things can be in its procedure. All right. So that being said, that's done for the offset tool.